All right. Hi, everyone. So welcome to eRivers Go Team meeting. So we're going to follow the agenda. I emailed all of you except for Early the agenda. I'm going to call this meeting of the eRivers Go Team to order at 3:38. Thank you so much. I'm going to act in the capacity of interim Go Team chair for this meeting. I'm so sorry that I'm reading, but I don't know how else to do this. So our first order of business is to appoint an interim secretary and call roll. Do I have any volunteers willing to serve as the interim secretary? I'm thinking that it makes most sense if it were Miss Sanders or Miss Sheriff, if you don't mind, since you both have your computers there.
I can. Is there something with notes? Like, is there a certain form? Because we had one last year. Template. I'll have to find it if we do.
So here's this, I saw meeting minutes.
I can copy, maybe paste it.
We did it last year.
I know.
Erica, yeah, I was gonna say, Erica, I wonder if she wanted to do it again this year.
Well, this is just the interim for today's meeting, just to capture everything for today's meeting.
Regular doc, and then I can make it into a different format after that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So Nicole Sheriff is going to be our interim secretary only for this meeting. Our official secretary for the 25-26 school year will be elected during the meeting. The interim secretary will now take roll. Just Mrs. or Ms. here, present.
PhD here. Erica is not here. Jackie's not here. Wendy here. Me, I'm here. Dr. Chopra, I don't think he's in. I'm just going based on.
That's last year.
That's last year.
I don't have this year's. Do we have this year's one?
I think so far you've gone right except for Chopper, right? He's the only one. And Miss
Megan's not here anymore. You're in her place. I don't.
Not yet, so.
Okay.
So early, so it should be.
Yeah, I've got the list here.
Okay.
So it's Summer Clayton, PhDs, Erica Militello, Greg Smoller here, Nicole Sheriff, Wendy Sanders, Allison Nelson, Emanetta Somerville,
Yep.
and 2 open spots.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So everyone but Erica is here.
Where'd that come from?
The website, the school.
Oh.
So here's the tough question. The team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Ms. Sheriff, is a quorum present?
Yes, we were discussing it. So yes.
All right, so we can proceed. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you, and it's also up here on display. May I have a motion to approve the agenda? A second?
Second.
Are there any amendments to the agenda? All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand so that the secretary can record your vote. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Anyone abstaining? All right. We're now going to move on to filling. We would move to fill vacant seats. We don't have vacant seats. So we are going to move on to community member seats. So we'll now move to the open community member seat. This person will serve on the Go team for a full 2-year term. I nominate Early Smith to fill the open community member seat. Early works for Agape as the, say it again? Educational, outreach specialist. That's the word that I was searching for. Does anyone have any comments or discussion about Ms. Smith?
Great addition. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Thank you, Ms. Nelson. All right, so we're gonna vote on the nomination of Early Smith for the community member seat. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Okay, congratulations. So we're now going to move to the open swing seat. Any Go Team member can nominate someone for the open swing seat. We had a nomination by Greg for Mark Hardy. I have not heard back from Mark, though. You heard from him and he indicated he would be interested, yes?
Yeah, he did. He said he will fill the slot that's still open,
Okay,
and he's been in the go team before.
perfect. Do you want to talk about Mark at all?
Sure. He has, does anyone know how many students he has here?
Two, he has two, they're both in dual immersion.
Okay, he's the CEO of a company that handles all the sanitation and the janitorial services at the Atlanta airport. So he's got executive experience. Super nice guy and has experience on the Go team.
Great. Great. Well, thank you for that nomination. We'll go ahead and vote to fill that swing seat. Before we begin with voting, does anyone have any additional comments or discussion about that nominee? Are there any other nominees? Okay, thank you. So we'll now proceed to vote on the nomination of Mark Hardy for swing seat member. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. No abstentions. We're now, okay, great. All right, so we will now review and approve the previous minutes, which I emailed out to you all. So here's where I'm a little fuzzy. I see posted April 21 minutes in our archived Go Team folder. Is that in fact the last meeting that you all had, was April 21st?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So you've had a chance to review those minute meetings. Are there any corrections that anyone noticed? Okay. All right, if there are no corrections, can I have a motion to approve the previous meetings minutes?
Motion to approve the meeting.
All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? All right. We will now move on to electing the Go Team officers and representatives. Before we begin the nominations, I'd like to remind the Go Team of the following. Nominations do not have to be seconded. A member may nominate themselves. A member may nominate more than one person. A member may decline a nomination. Members may not serve more than 2 consecutive terms in the same office or position at the same school. Nominees do not have to leave the room during the nomination period or when a vote is taken. You can stay right here. If there is more than one nominee per elected office, each nominee will be offered an opportunity to share why they should be elected to the seat. The newly elected officers will assume their positions starting at the conclusion of this meeting and serve until June 30th. All voting members have only one vote per seat. Okay. So first, we will elect the Go Team's chair. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the chair include, but are not limited to, leading the Go Team meetings, much better than I'm currently doing, working with the principal and Go Team to develop meeting agendas, ensuring that every Go Team member has an opportunity to be heard, and monitoring team compliance. I will now open the floor to receive chair nominations. And Ms. Sheriff, if you would record those nominations.
Does anyone know if the person who's not here has any interest in any of these positions.
Erica,
She said she would do, well, do you want me to say?
Please.
She said she would be vice chair,
Okay.
Okay, so we're on.
but so we're on chair.
I nominate you to do it. I think you have been very steady, and very faithful.
Oh, thank you.
Would you? Okay,
No,
all right.
It's amazing.
any other nominations? Great, I will close the floor and we will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the chair seat. The nomination for chair is Amanetta Somerville. Thank you. At this time, I will offer Amanetta an opportunity to explain why she's the best candidate for the position.
I nominate Amanda because she has been very faithful the past couple of years and she's consistent. She shows up to all the meetings. She shows up to all the events. She's lovely in every way. She's got a student here. And I think she is wise and smart and would be a great benefit to our team as a chairman. Thank you. I appreciate that. You consoled me.
Fantastic. Do any other Go Team members want to ask Amanetta any questions before voting? All right, so you're going to raise your hand to vote for your choice of chair of our Go Team, Amanetta Somerville.
Yeah.
Are there any abstentions? Fantastic. Congratulations, Ms. Somerville. You will serve as the Go Team chair for this school year. All right, now we elect the vice chair.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she told me on Saturday, but if there's somebody else that wants to do it.
I was last year, so you can't do it 2 years.
2 years in a row.
Does she drive a VW is pulling up
No,
little?
it's not that, she does
Okay.
drive a Volkswagen.
She'd be great at it too.
She would, so I mean, I
Alright.
really do, like, this week was busy for her, but she would be, yeah, she was on the Go Team last year.
Okay, so we have a nominee of Erica Militello.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any further nominations? Okay, I will close the floor. We'll begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered, and that is Erica Militello. At this time, I'm not going to give her an opportunity to explain why she's the best candidate.
This is what happened when you show up to
That's right.
meetings.
So please raise your hand to vote for Erica. Any abstentions? None. Congratulations, Erica. She's going to serve as the Go Team vice chair for the school year. All right, so now we're going to elect the Go Team secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the secretary include but are not limited to posting Go Team documents, agendas, summaries, and minutes to the website, taking minutes at Go Team meetings, and ensuring the Go Team is in compliance with Georgia open meeting laws. I'll now open the floor to receive secretary nominations.
Can we nominate Nicole Sheriff?
I don't mind this one.
Yes, you are here, that can be.
But I
can take it.
I gotta find a
The temple, they do have to.
I know
I know
that,
they do.
but, cause I like templates.
I have definitely seen a template.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find it, me too.
Anyone else for secretary? Nicole, would you like to decline the nomination?
No.
Thank gosh. Okay, if there are no further nominations, I'll close the floor and we will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered. The nomination for secretary is Nicole Sheriff at this time. Nicole, do you want to say anything?
As soon as I have a template, I'm really great, note taker, and I know how to get them where they need to be uploaded.
Thank you.
I'll check on your template.
I've got one. I just, with the Zoom and the live streaming, I don't want to
Yeah,
fiddle with it right now.
Did, sure,
Yep,
yeah.
I did for Erica a couple times and she would send it to us.
Yeah.
I just need.
yeah, absolutely. We got it. We got it.
Here we go.
Any questions for Nicole before voting? All right, please raise your hand to vote for your choice of secretary for Nicole Sheriff for secretary. Any abstentions? No abstentions. Congratulations, Nicole. You will be our Go Team secretary. All right. Now we will elect the Go Team's cluster representative. Cluster representatives may also hold an officer position. So don't think that you're off the hook just because you're a chair, vice chair, secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of a cluster representative include but are not limited to attending all the cluster advisory team meetings, reporting back to the Go Team on the cluster advisory team meetings, and representing E-Rivers there. I'll now open the floor to receive cluster representative nominations.
Do we know how often the cluster advisory meetings?
3 or 4. Just 3.
Does the principal also go to those? So it would be me and the cluster representative.
Is it in person or?
No,
there's one.
I
wasn't talking about, do you remember?
It was ours, we were later, so I think it was like at 5, so.
Just on Zoom.
Yeah, just on Zoom. I would say it's a big deal this year because they were talking about the closings and stuff like that and the budget, that's what that was discussed.
I could do that.
I nominate Wendy Sanders.
Okay, all right.
There's a five, I don't.
We're-
Wendy would be great.
Did you? All right, any further nominations? Allison, are you disappointed? You sure? I can nominate you. You and Wendy can battle it out. Okay.
Default to all the good people that were on.
Fantastic. If there are no further nominations, I'll close the floor and we'll begin the confirmation process for Wendy. At this time, I'll offer Wendy an opportunity to speak and explain why she's the best candidate.
I don't know.
Because she
I'll be on
volunteered.
mute and listen and report back to you guys.
All right, any questions for Wendy? All right, so raise your hand to vote for Wendy for as our cluster representative. Any abstentions? Fantastic. Congratulations, Wendy. You will serve as the Go Team cluster representative for the school year. All right. We will now move on to our next item of business in reviewing and updating or confirming our Go Team's public comment protocol. I don't know where to put that, so that's not in the way. Actually, we'll do it over here. All right, public comment opportunities are available for Go Teams to hear from interested members of the community. From section 3.4 of the Go Team Handbook, opportunities for the public comment shall be provided at least 4 times a year, and are noted on the Go Team's webpage and meeting agenda. Go Team members will not provide responses or engage in direct conversations during public comment. Each Go Team will determine a consistent method for receiving public comments and for parents and other citizens to sign up to address the team. At least 20 minutes of time will be allotted for the public to make comments at meetings where public comment is permitted, and the public will receive at least 2 business days notice of the public comment protocol. All right. Oh. All right, so take a moment to review the protocol and information. Are there any recommendations for updates or changes to the public comment protocol? Might I have a motion to adopt this public comment protocol? Second? All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. All opposed say nay. No abstentions. All right. So adhering to the agenda, we will now discuss our meeting calendar for the rest of the year. All right. So we need to have at least 6 business meetings, at least 4 with public comment. They can't be held during the instructional school day. They have to be live streamed and recorded. It's being recorded through the live stream, I think. And locations for hybrid meetings must be in places which can accommodate the public. All right. Do I have any suggestions or recommendations for meeting times? Not, if I don't hear any, I've got some.
Can we do Mondays, 3:30, like we've been doing?
We can.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Mondays were good for majority of us.
yeah,
That way then it doesn't take over our staffing.
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. Mondays work for me. So it looked to me like maybe y'all did the 4th Monday. If we want to keep in line with this week, it would be the first Monday. So that would be October 6th, November 3rd. I guess I should wait for you all to look at your calendars, right?
So we meet in October, November.
December, January, February, March, and April. So that gives us 8 meeting dates, which is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meeting dates, which is in line with the number of meeting dates that you had last year. Because you had one in August, but we're getting started late. And you did not have one in December.
So if
Last year, you
if we
didn't
do
have one in December.
Since we're, I guess, doing the first Monday, we wouldn't do January because we're off, right?
Right.
So-
Well,
Or we
so
would move it to later.
we could move it to later. Yeah, we could move it to later. We're here on January 5th, so I didn't know. But if that date doesn't work for everyone, we can move it to January 12th. Okay. All right, so we now need to determine at which meeting we will allocate time for public comment. As a reminder, we have to have at least 4 public comment times during the school year.
Do we know any of our topics?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you, I would assume, given on the meeting minutes that I have read from last year, in February, there was a budget presentation. So it might be that we want public comment to happen definitely in February. In March, there was the approval of the budget again, and March tends to be kind of the time that you're looking at staffing, right, and things. So February and March, and yeah, any recommendations for the other 2 dates?
We have one in December?
December 1st.
Oh, we are having one?
Yeah.
All right,
Go sometime in what, November?
11:3,
11/3,
11:3, 12:1, 2:2, 3:2.
perfect.
December, March, and December 7.
November, December,
Oh,
February, and
gotcha.
March. All right, so now that we've determined our calendar, can I have a motion to approve the calendar?
Motion to approve.
A second? All in favor, please raise your hand. No opposing and no abstention.
First of April.
Is that 4?
Yeah, what is the,
What
is spring break?
4/13.
Oh,
Right.
So it's 4/6, okay.
No, I'm sorry. Spring break, I think, is 4/6, so it should
So
be
we need-
4/13, I believe. Yeah.
Is that
Or
what-
14.
Is it 4/14 is the Monday?
November 13th.
Okay, all right.
April 13th is the, last day.
Okay,
Do we for that?
we can for just clarity's sake. All right, so just to repeat the dates again, 9/3, which is, 9/2, which is today, 10/6, 11-3, 12-1, 1-12, 2-2, 3-2, and 4-13. All in favor, raise your hand. No one opposing and no abstentions. All right, now we will determine our go-to meeting norms. We'll begin by reviewing the initial go-to norms. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay. All right, so our initial meeting norms is up on the board. I'm not going to keep reading to you all this. Yeah. Okay, does anyone have any changes to these norms that you'd like to suggest? No. All right, may I have a motion to adopt these norms for our Go team?
Motion to adopt.
And a second. All in favor, say aye or raise your hand. No opposed and no abstentions. All right, we will now move to maybe the fun stuff. Some discussion items. All right, so in terms of discussion items, we're going to discuss stakeholder engagement. As a charter system, the decisions of the Go team, the decisions that we make shapes our school's future, and the best decisions come from hearing the diverse voices within our school community. When we bring families, students, and our community into the work, not just into the audience, we get stronger ideas, better outcomes, and a shared vision we can all stand behind. So here's the challenge. We're going to look at 4 groups: families, students, staff, and community. And for each one, we are going to answer 3 questions. What's a fun or unexpected way to keep them in the loop? How do we inform them? What's a meaningful way to get their ideas or feedback so that they can provide input? And then how can we bring them into the work, not just the audience? So we're not going to actually fill this out like in real time, but we are going to discuss it, and then Nicole will try to keep us with our minutes. Okay, so anybody have any thoughts about informing? Let's just start with informing families. A fun, unexpected way to keep families in the loop.
I have one, but I don't know if it's feasible,
Okay.
but, there's something another school does is have the parents do like a abridged day, school day.
Mm-hmm.
And so they go like for like 10 minutes each like class of the day for like an hour.
Uh-huh.
A sample day, but abridged for like 10 minutes at a time. Again, I don't see how that would be feasible here, but maybe it would.
I mean, let's write. I feel like all ideas should be lifted up. I've seen that happen with like curriculum nights, particularly at higher grade levels, like at a middle school, where the kids have a 7 period day or whatnot. Well, but there still could be, I mean, we still have multiple content.
Yeah.
And so there could be that type of an event where parents are running through, schedules.
I'd say from a parent's perspective, any opportunity to get inside the school is like the most like worthwhile.
Yeah. I have noticed that we seem to have a lack of engagement with some of our families. And I think that Agape is a great resource that steps in and helps with that. I think that we generally have a good family engagement turnout for a certain group of parents. And so how, what are ways, what are things that we can do to make sure that we're engaging all of our families?
Do we have a WhatsApp where we're communicating to a lot of people that maybe, I mean, I know a lot of international people really love the WhatsApp. All of my friends that live internationally, that's how we communicate, and I've heard that that's really good among just even like Hispanic families and stuff like that, because that's how they communicate to all their family in other places.
Yeah.
So I've heard that's a really good way, if you have someone that's constantly communicating on their WhatsApp, like that this, like all the families can join it, and there's someone that's communicating in Spanish. It really helps to keep, or maybe it's more than just other international families. I think a lot of families that speak English as a second language is hard sometimes. That barrier of like, just, we don't realize how much, I mean, it's great, we've got everything on the back of the sheet in a different language, but at the end of the day, I've heard that that's very helpful.
Not being familiar with WhatsApp, so when you type a text into it, does it automatically translate?
I know that, I did that in middle school.
Mhm.
I do the recruiting of parents, and we recruited a parent that speaks Spanish, that is in charge of putting all the information on the WhatsApp, and she's recruited all of the families to be a part of it.
So we could potentially use either a parent liaison or
Exactly.
Lisa as our school clerk?
Yes.
Okay,
And I've heard that's been very helpful.
So it's kind of like what we do, push out to Facebook and Instagram, but just put it in
Doing it
a
on
place
WhatsApp.
where they're comfortable with what they're actually
Yes.
using.
That's a very comfortable.
We create like a group, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
you
it'd be like
create
a
a group.
viewers group.
And then
Yeah.
if people have questions, they could respond to it creates a an online community.
yeah,
And that's something that you could put on your newsletter or something that's like, hey, if you wanna connect through, that's always just letting people know about it. So I've heard that that's really good. I also like all of the fathers and the dads that are all out here, like doing the cheering on. That only targets a certain audience because you got your bus riders. But I do think handing out flyers or something during that time would be very engaging.
yeah, absolutely. We have started doing dads at buses as well.
Which is
So this,
lovely.
yep, so this year, we did it for our first one in both locations.
I love handing out flyers and different things at carpool time, and so I don't know if there's a way you can do it in the bus time too. I'm not sure how that works. But I felt like, again, I'm just going off some experience from Sutton. We do a big parent pep rally, and I get a lot of parents, specifically, we really target sixth grade parents because they don't know about it, to hand out flyers to them and to talk to them personally and invite them.
Yeah.
And that personal invite is always really engaging.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I'm just gonna refocus us for a bit because I think it's important to note that what we're talking about seems to be bringing them into the work of the Go team specifically. So not bringing them, not just engaging them in the school, but specifically engaging them into the work of the Go team.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
So that we're so that we're letting them know what's going on, but we're also giving them an opportunity to inform us.
I think a lot of the things that were mentioned would help with the engagement with the Go team, especially in this critical time with the budget going on and how they're reallocating the schools. I think we need to have more involvement, and I think a lot of people see it on the news, but they don't know how they can inform the decisions. And I think just having them more aware, so even once we establish the WhatsApp chat, just having notices like, hey, go look, check this out, go select on what's important to you, go select the schools, because I think they did that last spring where they were asking.
You run a cluster one, right? So you know.
So they were soliciting feedback and they extended it, and I think a lot of people thought that their school wasn't involved, and it's a lot more robust than was initially.
Well, maybe marrying the ideas, like handing out flyers in advance or having signs kind of at drop off. Or I guess it won't work in the buses, but I don't think people really think the Go team's something they can participate in.
Right.
I also have another idea that
Yeah.
when I was a parent liaison, we did flyers and then we started doing QR codes, but another thing that I started doing towards the end was actually doing videos. So, I think it might also, we can also do on top of the flyers, do videos, and I wouldn't mind, but also even the parent liaison, if he would be open to it. Pretty much just, recording ourselves and like breaking it down, because it is a lot of information for parents, and I know my parents have Facebook and they enjoy watching videos, and so they're just not reading, it's not, cause I think, like with now with social media and everything, when we're talking about, just different ways to engage them, I think that we could try that, because, we'll be talking to them and also breaking it down. We can even add on little, different, just, what is it called, them little tags on there too, but just like explaining it, and just, so they can watch it on their time as well.
Mm.
So,
It's like bite-sized pieces. of
Yes,
it, right?
yeah.
I thought we could do a lot.
So, so just to
Especially in the
make
budget
sure,
program, it's overwhelming for us.
yeah, so just to make sure I understand what you're saying, so like, let's say we have a Go Team meeting, and then after, I mean, it's live streamed, it's recorded that way, but in addition,
Mhm.
we make like a short video where we're
Yes.
just doing the highlights
Mhm,
and
highlights.
posting that on our Facebook, the
Exactly.
E-Rivers Facebook page.
Yeah,
English and in Spanish.
And that could be posted on WhatsApp too.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
that.
videos could go
yeah.
on that, no problem.
I was even gonna say, could we like throw the minutes into like AI and just say, come out with a blurb that we could then post online as well? I mean, if we're sending that stuff out, it's reminding
Mhm.
people that we're doing the work.
Well, and I'm trying not to rely on Lions Roar, like I'm really trying, because so many people don't sign up for it, and I don't want to miss those parents. So I'm trying to send out information via Infinite Campus. And then Lions Roar is specifically for the people that sign up for it, and it tends to be more PTA related. Yeah.
The students receive usually like a weekly newsletter from their teachers, and
Mhm.
if we had that, we could always include a QR code at
Mhm.
the bottom and then have that with the notes. Like the
So
things
those
that are
are
going on, just
Right,
like
'cause
stuff
everybody-
already sending home.
QR code work.
Would you do a QR code of a paper that's sent home, like with a bunch of notes on it? I don't know if I would, but I'm just curious if it.
I would if it was taking me to a different piece of information, cause that's what we're trying to get out, is we're Go Team info, not. If it's my child's newsletter and they're like, for Go Team info, updates,
Mhm.
scan this
Mhm.
QR code,
Mhm.
most everyone has a phone to scan. it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But most aren't gonna do.
And so that could,
but you're providing,
You're
you're
Right.
giving the opportunity, you're giving them
Right.
the opportunity, you can't hold people's hands.
Right, but you could
That's
say,
right.
you could put a little blurb, we're discussing the budget, which does have input. right,
Yeah,
for
and we
you,
could-
we need your input.
I love the idea of having the QR code that just gets updated. It's the same QR code, but we're just updating the information. That could live in the Lions Roar. And then for Infinite Campus, I don't think I can put a QR code in there, but I would just put the link to, whatever the QR
But I
code
mean,
is.
What we're proposing would be almost like 4 or 5 different ways of disseminating the same information, and if you don't get that's lack of
Cause I mean, this,
desire.
And
Yeah.
that overlaps the community too, right, like as far as.
cause we have a big presence on Facebook, there's tons of people on Facebook.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And we have an Instagram account, I think, but there seems to be some confusion about how, like, who owns the Instagram. I know Henri, for instance, can post to Facebook, but I don't know that she can post to the Instagram. So we're trying to figure that out, but should be something that we can solve. What about, so I think staff would also be included in that.
Like with a QR code. or
Yeah.
just-
Yeah. What do we think is kind of a student's role in this at this level? Certainly, I know at upper grades. I'd love to hear your thoughts about how we keep students informed, or what, how much of this information might be pertinent to them.
I don't think it's pertinent to them at all.
I think the students is just more, how do we communicate with the students so the parents are aware, and we kind of covered that in the proposal, including in the newsletter and then in the Lions Roar.
Yeah.
So, cause they're small, they don't understand fully,
Right.
and I don't think they should be involved in adult
Yeah.
issues as far as budget. There's enough anxiety going around
Yeah.
anyway, let's not create
Yeah, I think that there could be opportunities in the course of the year to bring kids together in like focus groups so that they could give us information that then might have impact on some of the decisions that we're
Are you
making.
saying those focus groups would come here to this meeting, or they would do separate during school and then?
I think it could be either way, really.
What about surveys? Have you ever done, I guess would kids not fill out a survey?
Yeah, we do surveys.
They also surveys where they can like give their input on stuff?
Upper grades, obviously, I mean, your pre-K and K and maybe some one are not gonna do surveys, but
Cause I know they did a survey for the shirts, like, on the apparel for one of the schools, and it's so funny because what the parents thought would be the things that the kids would love was the opposite. The kids loved a lot of other different things, so they ended up selecting their apparel off of the kids instead of what the parents thought would be the best thing. I apologize, I have to go, my daughter's following me because I'm gonna pick her up from school.
absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think there are some things that we'll get into, like, more like curriculum focused and
Right,
social emotional stuff.
Right,
that
right.
maybe the kids. Be
yeah,
potential.
absolutely. So we've got surveys and we've got focus groups that could either happen during a Go Team meeting or during the school day, and then one of us just brings the information back to the Go Team. Any other ideas for?
Also for staff on some of the issues could be worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, surveys for all of these,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
just don't want to over survey people because sometimes there's that.
Issue, there's something that's coming up that's gonna really affect us.
Yeah.
That needs to be.
Yeah.
Cause there's some services that they have to do.
Right.
It's always on city.
Hey, congratulations.
It doesn't take much, but.
That's great things to say.
I mean, it was unanimous. Yeah, but you're the vice chair. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what we're talking about, Erica, is they wanted us to just brainstorm ways that we increase family engagement. And the team, yes, in the work of the Go Team. And we talked particularly about how do we include more of our Hispanic families, our families that we're not getting as much engagement from. And so some of the ideas that have been thrown out are surveying, having focus groups for different families, using a WhatsApp. Paige brought up the fact that Ann Early Smith, who I'm not sure if you've met, she's our swing seat. No, she's our newly elected community member, talking just about how that community uses WhatsApp a good bit. And so generating QR codes and making sure that we've got ways to have the communication be two-way. We're getting their input, and we're also updating them on our work.
What are the like types of things that we're hoping to accomplish?
I think that's a great question. I think that I'm might be the least experienced person with the Go Team here. So
I think we're trying to have just more involvement and engagement, because we have engagement from parents, but it's not equally distributed amongst all of the population of the members. So we're trying to make sure that all of the populations within the school are notified in a way that they can consistently be engaged.
and I think that has to do with, right, like our strategic planning process. What are we doing around continuous improvement? What does our budget look like? How are we making decisions about the direction of the school? And opening that up to a larger group of people than just the folks that traditionally come to these meetings is what we're looking for, so that we get more ideation around the things that we're doing.
Would that mean like encouraging people to join the calls, or is that?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Just getting, like, we talked about giving updates, not like minutes per se,
Right.
but like actual
Yeah.
information updates that people would be want to
Yeah.
read, you know?
I wonder if, because we do have the minutes, and
I don't know about the role of secretary, but okay, congratulations.
Yeah, sure. In the minutes, you can include like links out to data and stuff like that. I wonder if just sharing the minutes in some format, I mean, I don't know if Lions Roar is the appropriate place or not, but
Yeah.
having that be more accessible, I know that asking.
No, I mean,
So-
no, I think that's important, right? Because and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that in previous years, the minutes were taken and then they were put on the website and that was pretty much it. So I imagine that if you were a parent, you had to go looking for the Go Team stuff. Did any parents get
Not-
any information about Go Team?
That's what we see online for sometimes, right?
It would mention it, but I
Okay.
think this year is gonna be really critical, because this is going to determine the future of APS and how it's going to be structured, and there were several schools that are being proposed to
Right.
close, even within our cluster.
Right.
Mhm.
Especially as the kids go on, it proposed that the sixth grade campus for Sutton would go away.
Mhm.
So I think everybody should just be aware of what's coming, because there's certain things that we've become accustomed to.
Right.
And if you're not dealing with it, everybody has many things that they're trying to do
Yep.
every day,
Yep.
but that kind of gets pushed to the one side, but I think we're just trying to make sure that everybody's engaged more this year.
Yeah.
Because it's a more critical year than it has been.
Just
in the
being
past.
more deliberate and intentional about pushing the information out there, not just having them depending on Lions Roar or depending on them going to our website and clicking on the minutes.
Early had mentioned,
video.
yeah, she mentioned the
That's probably
video.
the best.
Yeah.
Proposing having a summary of what the minutes were, like, here were the highlights. This is some of the 3 top things from the
You
meeting.
click
And
further.
then you could do it, and it would be in English and in Spanish, and then you can click. I think getting people just interested,
Right.
just that, my children give me the information like right before bedtime on Sunday.
Did you get
Friday,
it?
oh, look at the Friday photo, and it's wet too.
Yeah, blue water.
All right, well, these are great ideas. Why don't we move on then to our next piece? Amanetta has already referenced it quite a bit, and that is actually, we're gonna come back to comprehensive long-range facilities planning, which Amanetta keeps referencing. So just to give you a quick update on APS's personal electronic device policy. So let's see if it'll allow me to open this in a separate window. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna read it. So, the school board has adopted a PED policy that essentially says that students are not allowed to have phones or smartwatches or other personal electronic devices in the classroom. This is just to, one, make sure that our students are remaining focused, but also, speaking as a former middle school assistant principal, there's just so much in the way of interpersonal kind of drama. When students are able to access those things at school, it really distracts from the learning because kids are getting them out of their lockers and taking them into the bathroom and texting and sometimes taking pictures. And so we have this electronic device policy. Next school year, you'll see that with the state law that rolls out next year, this will be expanded to include lots of other things. The way that we've been implementing this policy is just communicating to parents that the policy exists and that this is the protocol. If we have a student who brings a phone or some other personal electronic device, we reach out to that parent and let them know of the new policy and essentially kind of give them and the child a warning. If we see a pattern of students returning with those things, then we'll follow our progressive discipline protocols essentially and kind of work through, treat it as a discipline matter and work through that matrix. Any questions about that?
So that's on school premises or just in the classroom?
That is on school premises. So once they enter the building, their cell phone will just call it.
Smartwatches? But what about these like gizmo watches that a lot of kids have?
So they're not really supposed to have them.
Okay.
I think that probably teachers, if they're not getting on them, aren't, because you can't, with the watch, you can't take a picture.
Yeah.
It's difficult to navigate.
Yeah.
If they've got alarms and bells and whistles and games, that becomes
Right.
problematic. So again, I think we're going to treat it just like we would the cell phone. And if they're using them,
Noticing that.
that's right.
Mhm.
That's right. The cell phones specifically are supposed to be off and remain in their backpacks throughout the school day. So that, and the policy even applies to them being on the bus. They're not supposed to be on the bus using those things either.
No.
Once they get home or,
Right.
right. Now, a teacher can give a student permission, right? So a teacher can say, yes, we're going to walk out. I'm going to stand with you while you use your phone to call your mom. So teachers do have discretion in that, but overall, they're supposed to be off and away.
Has it been an issue?
Not at this level that I see. Teachers, what do you think?
No, we've had two where I've had to not take, it was like the first level, step one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I haven't had another recurrence.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but fifth graders will push us, that's
Sure.
their duty.
Sure.
Because they're fifth graders,
sure.
so,
Yeah.
so far so good.
We haven't had that many cases. I mean, I think we've had a handful, but it hasn't felt like an issue. And we haven't, to my knowledge, we haven't had any pushback from parents,
Yeah, the parents
which,
are
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
That it doesn't happen, like they're backing us up.
It's kind of what we did last year, even similar, but I guess just not coming from the district, if that makes sense. So
Right.
It's just more,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Grady had to he had to keep his watch in his backpack last
Mhm.
year.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to just look very quickly at the comprehensive long-range facilities plan. This is really more just to keep you informed of the task force and upcoming public meetings. Kaki who was the chair last year, is still our task force representative. And she is going to be joining us at the next meeting to give an overview of the work that happened over the summer and kind of where we are. There are presentations. If you go to APS's site and look up the comprehension facilities plan, you'll see lots of different presentations with scenarios. E-Rivers specifically is not really being touched in terms of we won't be losing kids due to rezoning, right? So in years past, I know losing students that lived over near Agape was a possibility because they're closer to Bolton. That is not at all part of what is being discussed right now. Really, it is impacting places like Sutton, any place that has two campuses, right? So Morris Brandon has two campuses, Sarah Smith has two campuses, Sutton has two campuses. So they're looking at consolidating into one building right now, which then might impact us in that we might get some overflow. But otherwise, and again, that hasn't really been brought to the principal level at this point. I'm just guessing because where would those kids go, right? Any questions about that?
I got an email from Mary Norwood about the Chastain neighborhood is put together a poll of some sort to try to give feedback on what's happening because I think that neighborhood feels like there is gonna be some impact to them. I was curious if anybody else had seen anything like that out. No, okay. I thought it was interesting that she sent it because I think obviously more than just the Chastain neighborhood is impacted, but she sent this, it was like one of those Google survey things. She sent it to her whole constituent or whoever signed up for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the survey she sent was only about Chastain, and I felt like compelled to want to give feedback, but it was specific to Chastain.
Forgive me, I'm still learning the area. So
She-
Chastain isn't one of our neighborhoods.
Sixth grade, we had sixth grade.
Thank you.
Sixth grade.
And what elementary school? Brandon or
No, it's five
or
buildings.
Jackson?
Jackson.
No, I mean, for Chastain neighborhood, it's probably Jackson or Sarah Smith.
I think it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the sixth grade campus for Sept,
Is right.
it takes five middle school,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
five elementary.
Yeah,
yeah.
It takes Rivers.
But then neighborhood,
Yeah.
elementary school.
Jackson,
up
Garden
there,
Hills, Sarah
Jackson and
Smith.
Sarah Smith.
Yeah.
I'm not sure to what degree.
Yeah.
And some of it's Fulton County.
And,
Out of UPS, it kind of cuts off.
and those are
Or Cedar
both,
Springs or something. Sandy Springs up there.
They're both in that.
they're both in
So
that,
There's a border.
they're both of those elementary schools are in the discussion to get.
Yes, cause it's.
And then also the Sutton, which I think there was something being said about turning that sixth grade campus into maybe a K-8 school
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
That
was one of the things.
Yeah,
Doesn't make sense.
and so I don't intend to derail the conversation, but I just thought it was interesting that she sent this survey. So there's obviously
There's talks.
things going on, and I just am curious.
Yeah.
If anybody had seen anything that was not just specific to Chastain.
No.
Yes,
Mhm.
okay.
I've not heard people talk about it, sorry, I've heard people like at soccer and whatnot, who are at Morris Brandon, Sarah Smith, talking about it. But not really many Rivers parents.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that there's, the thing that impacts the rivers again.
Yeah.
Right, that's right.
And that's where.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you that at the next board meeting, which is the 11th, I believe, the options are going to become public. And there are also, like you can see, there are some upcoming public meetings where you can learn more and share thoughts. On each date, I don't know if y'all can see that because I'm probably kind of blocking, but for each of these dates, there's a virtual one at noon and an in-person one at 6. I'm not sure if that's the case for the September 3rd young middle school one, because that's a new one that was just added. I think that they also added one that was maybe at Sutton last week.
That
But
was
it-
probably the August 25th one.
May-
They have a Sutton location.
That's what it was. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, strongly encourage everyone to attend these meetings just so that we can, be abreast of what's happening. And our voice is essential. One last thing in terms of presentation, and that is leveling and our budget adjustment. So leveling, just to make it kind of short and sweet, is, we project what the budget is going to be and how much we might have in overage. Typically, you take about 2% of your allotment and put that in reserves just in case, you need that money for something else. At the beginning of the next school year, on day 15, they look at what our actual enrollment is, and then they adjust. They level based on whether we hit our projections for enrollment, because all of our money basically is based on how many students we have enrolled. So when the budget from the Go team was created last year, the projected enrollment was 658. Our 15-day count was short of that. It was 628, making a difference of 30 kids. That then brought our budget adjustment to a negative 178,860. Don't fear. Okay, so when the budget was created, it was anticipated that there would be $149,000 in reserve. So, and y'all, whoops, so sorry. And then as part of that February, I think, presentation and the discussion afterwards, you all created, or the Go team created a plan for what would happen to that $149,000 if it wasn't touched. So the first priority is if we have a lower enrollment, like we do, we would use that whole 149 and that would be payback. So that's what we have done. And it ends up not being 149. It was, so we had 178. And then I think the other thing is that when the budget was created, the per pupil allotment was around 6,000. I think because of adjustments with APS, it's actually reduced to about 5,800 thereabouts. But essentially, we are short $30,000. The district is holding us harmless for that $30,000. So we're losing our reserve, but we're not otherwise being impacted. We don't have to cut staff. We don't have to cut instructional funding money or anything. So it was a pretty stressful week for me until they sent the follow-up saying that they're going to hold us harmless for that amount.
Excellent.
So that is fantastic. All right. Does anyone have any announcements?
Next, how do we build back up that reserve?
That's a great question. So, I am new to APS. I have experience in being on school boards like this via charter school boards. So I've worked and been an executive director at 2 other charter schools. The way in which we had to operate is we had to have a reserve. If you didn't have a reserve, you did have to cut programs. My understanding being in APS is they're not requiring that.
Right.
So the reserve comes from when we create our budget.
Basically, not using all our budget.
That's
Because
right.
I just know this is not the first time
Yeah.
we've had to use like a couple of years ago. I was on a good team, not last year, but maybe the 2 years before that. And I think both years we had, because we had the excess, we
Yeah.
didn't have to lose a teacher.
Right.
And we're able to keep our class sizes smaller. All,
Yeah.
Very important things.
Right. So I think last year when y'all first created the budget, the anticipated allotment was a little over 7 million. So then you take 2% of that 7 million and that becomes your reserve. That's what it's a set aside, really is what it is.
We would do that again this year.
That's right.
Perfect.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. So you get that SSF and then you'll have like additional funding. For instance, like we got field trip money for buses. We got, you get money based on how many EIP kids you have or ESOL kids and all those things. So that was about another $3 million. So, so we still have all the money to support the staff that we currently have to support all the instructional programming, supplies, everything. We're not having to cut anything, but we don't have anything left over, right? So if there's a rainy day and we need to figure out money for something, I can't imagine what that would be, but we don't have anything in the reserve. That's right. We've got PTA and EREF, which is a blessing for sure.
Okay.
Any announcements? All right. So before we end, we need to save the date for our Go Team Summit, which this year is scheduled for Saturday, September 27th. They need as many Go Team members as possible to attend.
I just had another thought, sorry. We have all our school events, which are great. But like in terms of like, there could maybe like a Go Team representative could like share.
Oh, yeah, could be present at the event.
Or like give a minute kind of rundown of
Yeah.
like what the Go team's been, kind of like an update.
Yeah.
State of the Union, whatever.
Yep.
Like the. I'm sure you, maybe you have, but like the. I don't know, it's too late in the year, but we, the picnic or whatever, just get on the microphone and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And we can certainly also make time for that when the EREF board meets or when the PTA has their meetings, that we could have a little Go team.
Yeah, isn't there a Go team member on, isn't there a cross?
There is.
pollination?
There is. Yep.
That was the option.
There we go.
Cool.
Yes. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's true. I think in fact, is Paige maybe the treasurer for the PTA this year? I think Abby is EREF. I think Paige might be PTA. Anyway, I could also be completely wrong. All right. So again, we just want to make sure that, you know, we'll be learning about how to create your strategic plan, how to engage more stakeholders, getting more ideas for that. The Go Team office would also like to remind all Go Team members that they are required to complete orientation within 1 year of joining the team and must be renewed every 4 years. Failure to complete the orientation training will result in removal from the Go Team. I think that you've all, if I'm remembering the spreadsheet, you all have, I think probably early. And if Mark comes on board, there will be the only
He could
two
be fine, because he was on
before.
like 2 years ago.
Okay, okay. So we have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time?
Welcome, thank you.
Thank you. I can't even tell you how nerve-wracking this was for me.
No.
Just because I'm still learning so much about really APS, not so much just about e-rivers, but it's
Yeah.
all the APS stuff. When I tell you that we're gonna adjourn. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, say aye or raise hands. Any, no, all right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.